Hi, I'm Niurka, and I want to welcome you to our very first Google Hangout. I'm super excited about this Hangout. We're going to be talking about communication mastery and how you can create your life by design through the power of the language that you use. And what's going to happen is you're going to learn some insights and some distinctions that are going to help you communicate more effectively and more authentically than ever before. Okay, with your loved ones, your children, with your partner, with your clients, your team members, and most importantly, with yourself. Okay, because the quality of your life mirrors the quality of your communication. So what happens when you elevate your communication? You elevate your entire experience of reality. So we're going to do something a little bit different on this Hangout it's our first one, so we're going to do something that I haven't done before. I've invited a group of my beloved students, graduates from my courses, individuals that have very diverse backgrounds who are doing amazing things on the planet, and the reason why I invited them is so you can hear firsthand their own story of transformation, and you can see the work in action in people's lives, and that'll give you a glimpse into what's possible for you in your own life by being a part of this community and by being a part of the work that we're doing, which we would love to have you be a part of. So one of the things I'm going to invite you to do is maybe find a cozy spot where you can hang out with us, where you can turn off any distractions and be present with us for this time, because I assure you you're going to receive something valuable. And then at the end I have a gift for you. I'm going to invite you to come to my one-day training on Supreme Influence, and I'm going to gift that to you for free. All you've got to do is buy a book and bring the book, and you can come. We also have different, VIP and this and that, but the main thing is I want you to come and get the power of this right here, okay? So I'd love to start with a conversation, since this is a Hangout. And why don't I start with Erin? Erin has been with us doing our courses, I believe, since 2012. And Erin, I'll just give like a little quick intro before I turn it over to you. She is a productivity consultant, and she's a trainer, and she works with corporate leaders and entrepreneurs and executives. And her business is all about improving their productivity and their focus and having them be more effective in every aspect of their business and life. And she's also a graduate of Harvard Divinity School. She's a beautiful, powerful, amazing being. And hi, Erin. I would love to ask you, what's been different? What's shifted or what's different in your life since you've come to our courses?
Well, I have to say that pretty much my entire world has shifted. The biggest thing that I can definitely say since 2012 is my company has literally doubled in the last year. And I have had the opportunity to serve so many more people, as well as had the opportunity to really go into spaces of my own personal development that I never was ready for in the past. As I've told fellow members of our community, I had a horrible fear of water, and particularly of swimming in the ocean or being near the ocean, all of those kinds of things. And partially through the work that we did, not only did I change my business, but I also was able to overcome that restriction. And now my husband and I are now taking sailing lessons. We're out on the water almost multiple times a week and really getting, beyond all of those spaces that I was not willing to go near in the past. And so it's just the work that we have done here has allowed me to both bring my business to a whole new level and brought all these fantastic opportunities for fun and play and joy and sharing great opportunities with my husband as well.
You know, when you're out in California, I want to go sailing together. So we got to make that happen.
I would love that. I think that would be a blast. I'm going to be there in November. We'll make that happen.
Perfect. So that's a big thing, because one of the things that we do in our courses is we guide people to create the results that they want, obviously, in their business and their life. I mean, Erin doubled her business within a year's time. But also, it's about letting go of things that no longer serve you, letting go of things that have maybe challenged you in the past or been, taking you out of your power. So, let me ask that question. Ian what's something that you have let go of or transformed that has been very powerful for you as a result of coming to our courses?
Without a doubt, the single biggest thing that I've transformed has been anger. For the entirety of my life, I've been an angry person. I've been, the sort of traditional redhead, Scottish, angry, tempered. These things were all very common, and people that knew me accepted it. I was very quick to fly off the handle, and driving, I was the worst driver that nobody wanted to be around, and I was saluted with a single finger many times. Since coming to these courses, I've been able to completely transcend anger to where I don't get angry anymore. Not only do I not get angry anymore, but people in my life, particularly my family, my mother, who I was probably the most angry at, since coming to these courses, I've repaired a relationship with her. I've mended many relationships with friends and put a lot of things that were sometimes trivial, sometimes major events, and yet years later you look back at that and go, I can't believe I was so angry over that, or my best friend and I no longer speak because I got angry at an incident. And by having the awareness and communication, I've been able to go back and repair these relationships by communicating who I am, where things went wrong, and how we can move forward together productively. And it's been remarkably powerful. Every day is better because of the person I've become, and I'm a happier person for it.
Oh, and we love being with you. You're such a blessing to have around. Just to give a little quick intro, Ian used to be a professional stuntman, and now he's in real estate. And he also, let's see, I'm looking at his bio over here. He also owns an event production company, and he's a beloved member of our community. So thanks for being here with us, Ian. So all these incredible stories. I mean, letting go of anger, letting go of fear, creating successes in our business. Elke, you came to our one-day event for the first time recently. So I know Aaron's been with us since 2012. You just came just a couple months ago. And then you went to our very first course. I'm curious, what's been different in your life since you've come to our courses?
It was an incredible journey in the last month since I've been to the one-day seminar and then 2 weeks later to the Neogenesis. Just an amazing journey, actually, for me personally and for my husband separately, and then for us together. Just amazing. We are a loving couple already, but I mean, the relationship is just going to new heights. And I mean that in communication, we have fun with this, recognizing our language, what we talk to, and how we talk, and some negative things that maybe come up. It's actually kind of funny. And me personally, what happened after, especially the one-day seminar, because I think a lot of people are familiar with this. When you go to the seminar and you have the blues afterwards, you're kind of stuck. You have to leave the positive community, and then you face the real world again. You're like, oh my gosh, And that didn't happen. It was truly a motivation from deep within, not a motivation from, okay, I have to do this. And that was huge for me. And it really didn't hit me until like 3-4 days later, and I'm constantly going through progressions like that. It's just amazing. And matter of fact, I'm not going to go into depth about this, but this morning my mind was just going nuts, after reading a couple pages in your book again, the Supreme Influence. And I kind of texted Bobby real quick. I'm like, oh my gosh, my mind is going crazy. And she's like, record it. And I was amazed. I am the master of turning things into positive, and I can even hear in my voice talking about positive things where there were little doubts and here and there. And I'm like, wow. And so it's just an honor to be here in this community, because it keeps my awareness up. And reading your book and listening to your audios and looking forward to the association with you and the lovely group, it's just been phenomenal. And it's only been a month, so it's huge.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. And it was so awesome that you came with your husband, that you have been married for 23 years, and that the two of you came together and you were sitting in the front row. I remember you're like, okay, we're gonna get some amazing things here. We're gonna make this happen, and you took action. And so much has happened in your life because you took action on what you felt inside. So I honor that with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as you can probably see, Elka, which I already said, has been married for over 23 years. She's an amateur bodybuilder, and she's also a professional in, and I'm giving you some of the background so you can see what a variety of people we have, and how no matter where you are in your life or what walk you're from, we have something that's for you. She's certified physio, massage therapist, amateur bodybuilder, beautiful goddess, loves horses, ranching, and with her beloved for 23 years. So I would love to know, Chris, you came all the way from Wisconsin for our courses, and it was so incredible to have you, and you brought some of your team members with you, and I would love to know what's been different for you in your life, in your business, and any area that you feel inspired to share since you joined us for SIA and for Neogenesis.
Yeah, it's been a really exciting time, to be honest with you. I've been to Supreme Influence one time and Neogenesis just recently, and this second time in going through your course Neogenesis after Supreme Influence, to me had a very, very deep-seated effect. Supreme Influence really kind of gave me direction, and my whole purpose behind finding your work was in my coaching and training of real estate agents. And in that process, it became very apparent that everybody has challenges and limitations and limiting beliefs and things that are stopping them from accomplishing what's really possible for them. And so I was really seeking something to be able to bring to my training, to be able to allow people to achieve their highest potential personally and professionally. The interesting thing that happened was, as I was seeking this information for them, and I was discovering more and discovering more through reading your book, I started to realize I need to work on myself before I need to work with them, because I have some of the same limiting beliefs and challenges that they do as people and as human beings. So Supreme Influence was my first step. The week there was, it was life-changing. It was completely life-changing. And I knew I had finally found a community and a body of work that I could truly embrace for myself and other people I cared about, people that I trained and coached. Neogenesis about a month ago just put a really deep immersion for me into where it became far more integrated into my daily thinking, my behavior, my ambitions. Everything has been elevated completely, and it's been elevated at a very high vibration so that when I think about it or I'm challenged, I'm extremely peaceful and thoughtful, and the solutions come. I really intentionally put forth the processes that you teach, and it's been stunning the last month what's really been going on in my life, in my future plans in business, and coaching and training of the agents. So,
give me one example. Can you give me one example of something that's happened?
Yeah, there's actually a whole bunch of examples. Interestingly enough, as you know, one of my interests, I've had a couple of my agents come to your courses because they too have been highly influenced by your teachings. And one of the things I've been seeking for myself in trying to take this to my agents as kind of a place where I can seed this knowledge and help these folks, and also take it to the industry at large, is to find my voice with it, right? To really find my voice with depth and passion, and commitment and conviction. And a weekend ago, I was downstairs, I was working out, and for some reason I just shut everything off, and I just turned on the lights, and I just really focused everything that I had on my intention of being able to communicate the purpose and the power behind what you've taught me to this point and what I want to communicate to the people that I touch. And it was profound. It was a voice and a delivery that I have never experienced before, and it was truly my voice communicating your knowledge through me in a way that was really powerful and compelling. And I thought, I did that for about 15 minutes, which was crazy. And I came back and I did it again just a couple of minutes later to prove to myself this was me, this was my voice. And that opportunity to allow that to happen and flow through me elevated everything about my future plans and what I want to do and how it's going to be accomplished, and just clarified things tremendously. So, it's been an incredible month in a lot of ways, but that circumstance stands out to me as a real change, or a real switch that was flipped on psychologically for me, to be able to know that I'm getting extremely close to be able to influence other people's lives with your work. And I just love your work. I love you. I love your energy. I think I told people at the Neogenesis conference, I have no idea how you teach for so long with so much passion and so much conviction, even to the minute detail. So this isn't just motivational stuff at all. This is real world teachings that you can put into practice in your daily lives to be able to transform every area of your life. And my family here on this Google Hangout is living proof of it. It's an amazing, wonderful community that you've developed, and we all owe you the gratitude for doing that the way that you have.
I received that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I jump in?
You know what?
Chris?
Absolutely.
Because, Chris, I want to say I love that you showed up, and I love that you brought your team. And I am equally excited because at the next SIA, I'm bringing 2 members of my team as well as my husband. And so that opportunity to not just influence me and my world, but to start rippling the effect, so that I'm really just so aware of how I've integrated these teachings into the work that I'm doing with my clients, and how much those teachings about habit change, about behavioral awareness, about sensory acuity, all this kind of stuff that we talk about in SIA is so valuable for my clients and my staff as they work with their clients. And that's why I wanted to make sure that they had that opportunity. And I've been watching you and your team, and I love you all so much. And I just know that we're both kind of vibing on this fantastic opportunity to really take it that next level further and watch those behaviors and those practices start like really integrating into how we do the work we do. So, thanks for being a good role model on that, Chris.
You're welcome. That's awesome. Thank you.
One of the things that I talk about is how a company is only as great as the conversations happening within that company. So how powerful it is to bring everyone in your organization on the same page, in that same conversation with a shared vision. And it's the same thing with a family. A family is only as good as the conversations that are happening within that family. So one of the things, and just a little background on you, Chris, since you had so many beautiful things to share, you've been in real estate for many, many years. You owned your own RE/MAX when you were in your 20s. Let me pull up over here. I have a couple notes on some of the things that you've been doing, and I know that now you do coaching and training and development of real estate professionals, and you have one of the most successful offices in your area. I mean, did I speak into that right? You want to kind of fill in the blank on that?
Yeah, very fortunate to be with an extremely bright group of people and a company that's very established. And one of the objectives is to really bring these teachings to the company, not only as a benefit to the individual agents themselves in their personal lives and professionally, but also as a huge value-added proposition to us being able to recruit people and bringing them into this light of knowledge as part of our curriculum and what we do for them. And, we're going to be able to have a lot of agents in time be able to speak into that, so that if they have questions or they wonder what it's all about, they can, like we're doing today, talk to other agents who've been through it and really understand what it means. But I truly believe this body of work that you present is a foundation for anybody, no matter where you're at. And I've been through, in the last 5 or 6 years, some really tough times, to really live their best life. And all you got to do is show up, because you're just an amazing mentor and teacher. You know, just be present.
Right, be receptive and committed.
Yes.
The only prerequisites. Thank you. One of the things that you said that I love, and it's so my passion, my purpose, my mission is guiding people to find the power of that voice, their purpose, their voice, and everyone has that. Everyone has a unique voice. Everyone has a unique gift. There's never been anyone in the entire universe like you, and I'm speaking to every single person. So you have this unique offering and gift and expression and voice. So finding that voice and being able to bring your gifts into the world, that's what I am here, among other things, to support you in doing. And Cyrena, I remember maybe like a year ago or something, you had talked to me about something with regards to your voice. Do you remember that conversation?
Before Sia, I was pretty lost, but I was most lost on how to express myself to others. I was afraid to shine, I guess. And after Sia, I found my voice. I was able to stand in my power, and using the languaging that we learned, just create the world I wanted around me. Our family is amazing, and being able to integrate this work into our relationships, not only with each other, but with our children, and just be mindful of using your words to create your world has been, I'm grateful every day.
Yeah, I want to add to what Cyrena said, is when she came back from SIA, really felt herself being powerful. I knew it was in there, and Niurka, you're a magician at pulling out the power out of people, and I've seen it manifest in people in your course. I love being around that energy. And for myself, when I saw what Cyrena got out of it, I signed up for the next one. And I've made some great friends. I've had some profound transformational moments there. I've shared a few times. I transcended sadness, and it served me so well. I used to be gripped with this grief, just saying goodbye to friends or family if I went to see them for the weekend. Then after transcending sadness, I can access it, but it doesn't weigh me down. It wasn't serving me. So it's skills like this, I'm just continually learning things that make a positive difference in our relationship and raising our family, and interacting with new friends.
Definitely for me, using the skills around our children, being able to communicate clearly with them as their languaging is developed also, and encouraging to use words, or knowing they don't understand certain words has made a tremendous difference. And then being able to find an education system or a community that provided the type of education that we saw our children would respond best to, it wouldn't have been possible.
I know you have 3 children, 3 beautiful children. So imagine having the skills to be able to communicate with your children more effectively, more deeply, genuinely than ever before. I mean, and one of the things that Ross was talking about, and it's one of the teachings in our courses, is how to transcend disempowering emotions. You know, if you've got emotions that grip you and take you out of your power, whether it's grief or sadness, or like Ian was mentioning earlier, anger, we have specific, very powerful techniques that I can teach you, and then you have forever to be able to utilize to be in an empowered state within yourself, but also to help others. That's a big part of our work, is to help in guiding others. And one woman that I know helps so many people, and I'm so blessed to have her in our community, is Kate. And I'd love for her to share a little bit. I mean, this woman, she co-owns and she manages a top-producing real estate team here in Los Angeles in Marina del Rey, and she's also part of the Leadership Council at Keller Williams, which is a very powerful real estate firm or a real estate company. And the thing also that's very unique about Katie is she's multidimensional. She has a lot of different aspects about her. She's also a yoga instructor, a flow artist, a fire hooper, and she's one of 6 master trainer hoop teachers in the world. So one of the, for Hypnotica, which is a company, and the reason why I share that is because here's somebody who has all these passions, all these dimensions, and she's found a way to integrate that more. So I'd love to have you share what's been different in your life, Katie, since you've come to our courses.
I don't even know where to start. There are so many daily miracles and monthly miracles and just lifetime miracles that have come out of the work. It has elevated every part of my life, my relationship, my business, my dealings with family. And, most noticeably, I think this week, one of the things that I noticed that a couple people pointed out to me is it's dealt with the way that I deal with stress on a daily level. For example, we went to Disneyland this week, and I decided to work from Disneyland. And, I was getting a little frustrated with the noise level. And so I decided, well, what can I do? And the conversation in my head started getting a little negative, a little disempowering as I was starting to work. And I was thinking, okay, so I'm frustrated. Maybe I'm curious. Maybe I'm going to go out and find out what that noise level is. And in the past, I would have had kind of a almost, sarcastic sort of approach to people, a need to maybe scold or give a piece of etiquette to others rather than just sort of get curious and open and just see what was, in the space. And so I decided to go out and meet some people, found out it was a group of fighter pilots and retired fighter pilots that had taken over the entire 6th floor, had some great conversations. It was Boeing and some experimental test pilots, and so they were kind of noisy and rowdy, and but they were really friendly. So I decided, it's not really their fault. The hotel was given to them, so I had no reaction. Where normally I would have felt the need to say, "Hey, you're ruining this for families and everybody else." In the past, this time I had a totally different reaction. I said, "I'm just going to go talk to Disneyland about it." And so I went to the desk. And in the past, my sister looks at me and she goes, "Oh, this isn't going to go good." Because my sister has not seen a lot of my public interactions since I've done SIA a couple years ago, and she kind of remembers me at age 16, who would have just gone in, absolute Irish temper, freckles getting bigger and wired and just going nuts. And I walked up casually to the front desk and said, "I'd love to give you guys some feedback. Would that be okay?" And I had a great conversation with them. I was able to say, one of the things I love about Disneyland is its commitment to the customer's experience and that they're one of the top customer service companies in the world. And long story short, I ended up with 18 no strings attached fast passes, which are like impossible to get. You can go on anything park, like you just walk up to the front. They gave me $150 dining credit. I didn't even raise my voice. I didn't get irritated at any point. And I ended up with, half of our room being comped. And so I came back and, my sister and my partner were like, this was like, linguistic witchcraft. You have to be careful. You're taking these skills out into the world. There probably was a point where I really felt like they were really taking care of me, but I realized the skills Niurka has given us, it is amazing. You can create change. You can create change in the environment around you. You can create change in people, and it's elevating everything. And I am grateful for just my ability to say, I'm going to have a positive reaction to a frustrating experience. I'm going to make this a place of curiosity instead of frustration. So thank you for transformational vocabulary. Thank you for teaching me to stop, breathe, and create rapport with people to create change. Thank you.
That's beautifully said. Create your life with the power of the language you use. That's what we're teaching at our one-day events, and that's the gift that we're going to have for everybody who's watching at the end. We're going to give you a gift for you to come with a guest to our live one-day event, which is Supreme Influence. So we'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Beautifully said. Bobby, I know that you've been practicing these communication skills, and one of the things that you shared with me is how it's influenced all these different areas of your life. But you were talking to me about how it's impacted your communication with your children. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, I would love to. I just think in the realms of parenting, it's always a great thing to be able to go to another approach at any time. It's been such a fantastic thing, really, to be able to listen with an open heart, open ear, and help them with different things. I know I did a process that we learned with you in one of your in your SIA event that I did with my daughter for helping her in her test taking.
Okay.
And she was very open to that. And, well, I guess the results is she was a straight A student in her first year of college. So that was great. But, you know, things like that, you know, that's a big milestone. But just daily practices and daily what's the highest choice, what's a different approach, get curious about this or that. And to really be able to, especially children, is to be able to see them, not to mind read them, but really respect their map of the world and to be able to come to the best choice or best conversations with them so we can be on the same page and they can respect and love where I'm coming from, where they're coming from. So, yeah, in parenting, it's been amazing, and I'm grateful for that. And so, I mean, any parents out there, this is certainly to have a one-day event, a full day with you, is would be really a priceless gift to not you, but your family too. So, yeah.
Thank you. And the ripple effect that it has, you know, as you start communicating in this way with your children, how they show up in their lives. It's a ripple effect. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, who would like to share about one technique? What's one technique that you learned and received at our courses that you've been using that has been incredibly powerful for you in any area of your life? And you can pick any, what's the technique that you've been using that you said, you know what, this technique has helped me or helped other people or helped the teams?
I can definitely speak to that. One of the techniques that we've done, which has been to go through the different positional positions, like first person, second person, third person. So experiencing, one of the core tenets is if you're in a problem and you can't see your way out of the problem, you're experiencing it in first person. You're looking out your own eyes, you see the problem, you perhaps don't see a solution, and this problem, in some cases, has been going on for a while. So the technique to be able to kind of take that perspective that's here and pull it outside of that, having a different perspective to look down on the situation, taking some of the emotion out of it, taking some of the charge out of it, and being able to see things for as they are, has allowed me to fix things that, when I'm looking through my own eyes, were very much a problem. And as I pulled it out, I went, well, not only is this not a problem, I have the immediate solution that works for myself, works for everyone involved, and I can move forward stronger as a result of that technique.
Very powerful. Thank you. And I'll elaborate on that a little bit because that's so, and that's a technique that we bring into other techniques, which is, like Ian said, if you're stuck in a problem, you're in the experience. And when he said stepping out of it, it's like becoming the observer. And there's specific techniques where you can become that observer and you come into a neutral place where you see things from a different point of view. So the point of that teaching is imagine having the power to see things from different points of view on the spot. Imagine having the ability to look at life from different perceptual positions and what resources will come up, what new ideas, what new opportunities that you previously didn't otherwise see. So, brilliant. One or two more? Anybody want to share one of your favorite techniques?
I can go next if you want.
Okay, please. Oh, you got a big kitty.
I have a big kitty. My cat Aragorn has decided to join the hangout too, so he's going to participate. But my favorite technique that I've used a lot are questions. And part of what we learned at SIA was how to ask an empowering question that really allows you to refocus your attention on a space that moves me forward. So it has to be in the affirmative. It help me get all three of them. One, it has to be in the affirmative. You include language of adding momentum. So how can we do something even more? So how can I be even more focused on bringing the most value to this conversation right now? And then there's a third one that I've just forgotten. What's the third one, Niurka?
Starts with how, who, or what. What?
How, who, or what. Right. So the question has to begin with how, who, or what. Those why questions tend to get us like down a rabbit hole that's no fun.
We just want to be really purposeful about it. I mean, you can say, why am I inspired to do this? Why do I get to do this? But why can lead you in a lot of philosophy and philosophical conversation. There's benefits to that. You know, wow is what's happening now. But how gets you process.
Right.
What gets you content. Why can get you purpose, but it can also go down a spiral of, you know, why is this happening to me? Why isn't that going on? Why did this happen? And then who's going to get you resources and support? So,
right. So having that structure to those empowering questions, I mean, I literally have turned this into a daily practice for myself, where I'll write in my journal first thing in the morning, and I'll come up with what's the question that I could ask myself that's going to serve me best today. So how can I bring even more to this meeting that's very important, that's going to be going on for me today? How can I be even more focused on my writing to be inspired about the language that's going to communicate most effectively with my reader? Basically learning the structure of those questions and then creating a daily habit about forming them so that it becomes easy and natural to do so has hugely elevated, and I honestly believe that's one of the major things that has helped in creating the success that I have created in the last couple of years, simply because I've asked different questions. And therefore, I've illuminated new opportunities and new possibilities that just, it never would have occurred to me to do that before. So that teaching of the empowering questions and then the integration of it as a daily habit, a daily practice and a behavior has been something that's been very powerful for me in my life.
I love that you brought that up, because that's a game changer. That's a life changer. You know, the quality of your life mirrors the quality of the questions you ask. And I'm just going to do like a little mini teaching on this, because that topic is a topic that I'm bringing into the one day that I'm inviting everyone to. So that's something that is a teaching that we have in our advanced courses, but the one day that we're inviting you to, we're going to do that actual teaching right then and there. You're going to walk away with that specific formula, with a specific exercise, and I'm going to actually guide you through writing your own empowering question, and then you're going to have an opportunity to share at the one-day event, and I'll have an opportunity to give you feedback in a group setting. And the thing about these questions, and the reason why it's so important to be purposeful with them, is that every question you ask presupposes the existence of something that triggers your brain to find things that are in alignment with what you're declaring. So if someone says, like, gosh, how am I going to survive in this marketplace, which I've actually heard in the past when I've gone into different real estate conventions where I've been a speaker, especially back, you know, in 2008 and 2009, I heard people asking that question, gosh, how are we going to survive? Well, that question in a universe of infinite possibilities is going to trigger your brain to move into a survival frequency, and then it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Versus if someone asks, and I mean, I have a CD on this. This is an incredibly powerful teaching. Let's say that you ask, how can I be even more aware of the unlimited opportunities around me? And you start asking questions like that. You start asking questions like the one that Aaron just demonstrated and modeled for us so brilliantly and beautifully. Your whole life will change, because the process of thinking is the process of asking and answering your own questions. And you're doing this all day long already. You do it already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you and teach you how to do it totally by design, in alignment with your true purpose. And when that happens, your whole life will elevate. And everyone in your life, your relationships with your children, your clients, your team, everything elevates as a function, as a result of the questions that you're asking yourself. I recently had a gentleman that contacted our office inviting me to come be the speaker at his national convention, and when he got my office manager on the phone, he said, my business has increased by 50 million, our pipeline. He called it the opportunity pipeline. He said our opportunity pipeline has increased by $50 million in 90 days, and it's totally because I've shifted the questions that I ask myself. But it's not just my business. It's like my health is better, my relationships, and that's what I'd love to give to you. Is this specific teaching. So thank you, Aaron. Who else would like to share one powerful teaching that you got, that you've been using, that you could say, you know what, This is so powerful. I want to give this to people. I want to share this. Anybody else? Maybe Chris, have you been utilizing one of them with your team?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hey, I have actually. One of the things since I came back from Neogenesis, which certainly I picked up in SIA, but there's so much amazing information that this is something that I had a couple circumstances for right when I got back. And one is to really understand holding space for people and really honoring people's responses to their map of the world, to their map of reality. You know, our realities are all different, and we've certainly learned from you that we distort and generalize and delete from reality to basically develop our own map. So with real estate agents, you know, there's a lot of times a lot of little complex situations occur between agents, relating to commissions, relating to customers, past customers, and things like that. And these can be pretty tenuous situations for agents, and a lot of times there's a lot of money involved as well. And since I got back, I had two circumstances that occurred, and I knew one was going to happen on my way back because I had gotten a text about it. And I started thinking about all the tools that I had learned and what I could do to kind of diffuse the situation and just kind of bring it into the favor of everyone involved. And in both meetings, in both circumstances, I asked the person an empowering question that allowed them the opportunity to feel I was completely open to whatever they had to say about the circumstance. And when they were done, I told them, I completely honor what you're telling me. Because as you teach us, you know, if you attack, you get attacked. And real estate agents often have no problem attacking if you open that door. So you've really got to, you think through these strategies, and I honored what they said, and then I proceeded to say, you know, this is what I had seen at that time, or what I had witnessed at that time. This is my perception of what took place. And asked some empowering questions so that they brought forth their best self instead of their ugly self or their angry self. And in both circumstances, and I kid you not, in both circumstances, what would have or could have typically turned into a very adversarial contest, you know, in the space of 10 or 15 minutes, turned into, in one case, about 45 minutes, in another case, almost an hour and a half of talking to that agent, working with that agent, having that agent start in this process of where they were going with what they were angry about, and end by completely showing me their entire business, where they're at, their strategies, their plans. And literally, we got into they're divulging kind of and emptying themselves professionally to me about where they're at. And it had nothing to do with what I came there for, absolutely nothing to do. But it was so empowering to them that I was able to hold space for them, and I was able to really honor what their map of the situation was, and speak into that, right? Listen and speak into it. That they felt so comfortable and so honored by that they opened up completely to me, and showed me a side of them that I have never even seen before. I didn't expect that at all. What I expected to do was diffuse a difficult situation, but instead, you know, I really gained their confidence at a completely different level, because it took a difficult situation and really used your tools and your teachings to be able to manifest understanding and trust, you know, a huge level of trust that had existed before, but not nearly at that level. So, you know, it was remarkable, actually. And I just sat back, and I went back to my office, and I just shook my head, and I'm going, you know, I call it, you know, this stuff works. I mean, it just simply works, and it's life-changing in every facet. It's only up to your imagination as to what you want to apply your knowledge to, and it's just powerful, super powerful. So, a couple of simple ones, but very profound.
I love that. I mean, imagine every person on the planet having that skill to be able to
yeah.
these challenging situations.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the exciting part about it is, you know, that's just two people. You know, what happens when you reach 20 or 200 or 2,000? You know, that's very exciting because that's life-changing for, that's changing the vibration on the planet. That's what that's doing. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and it's something that everybody should have the opportunity to experience.
So what would you say to somebody who's experiencing conflict in a certain area of their life? Let's say that they're experiencing conflict in their intimate relationship, or they're experiencing conflict in their business, or they're just in a conflict of, you know, that energy that you said. What would you tell them? What kind of feedback would you give them, or advice or support?
Well, I think one of the most important things is that I think they need to be able to give themselves the space to be able to feel what they're feeling, and to honor those feelings, and to completely readily admit, you know, that they exist. And you know, when you start becoming wiser to these teachings, you start realizing that there's a purpose, there's a reason why they exist, you know, the level that they exist at, and we become able to really tap into how we store the memories that create the person that we are, that manifest in those situations. And we learn the tools to be able to really rewire our brains so that we can have the optimum performance instead of disempowering performance. And that's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
You know, one of the things that I'd love to hear from whoever wants to share this, because I know you've done a lot of work, like Chris, you've done a lot of deep transformation, personal development work. Elka, I know you've been doing it for so many years. Bobby, the same with all of you. You've done so much deep transformational work, every single one of you. What's different? You know, sometimes I hear people, I invite them to come, and someone will say, I've been to that before, or I've already done that, you know. And how would you describe our courses, and what makes them different from anything else you've ever done?
I'll go. I think for one, with your courses, you know, it's pretty one-on-one type of thing. Even though we've got a room of people that you like know people's name, you can give them personal attention, and people can really work through where they're stuck and where they're going to. So I think that's, you know, very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, being able to, and I mean, it is a group setting, but before everyone shows up, we give them a questionnaire. So each person spends quite a bit of time filling out their own individual questionnaire, and I sit with them. I read every single one of those personally. So by the time you show up, I know your name, I know what's been going on, I know where you've been challenged, and I've been holding space for you in my meditation before you arrive. Matter of fact, a lot of times people get to the course and their lives have already started improving because of their decision to be there, and also because I've been working with them at the level of consciousness, if that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. So.
Let me say also that you come from a very powerful place, and yet a very loving place, you know, and the combination of the two of them is, you know, extremely powerful, unstoppable, really. When you're teaching also the power of the mind and the subconscious, the conscious mind to come to another level, to bring yourself to a life of design, and coming from universal place also, same thing, that brings the love into the picture, right? And it really is an unstoppable place. For one, the science of, and for another, the universal respect. So you come from a place of love, which is significantly different than where, well, I'll just say it's, you know, a tribute to you that you get your results because I believe, for one, you teach the science of, and for the other, you really come from a place of love, which is very powerful. Mm. So, and I appreciate that, and I love that about you, and I would be willing, you know, in a heartbeat, bring anybody to your teachings because I find them very profound. I've been with you for 2 years, and I'll stay with you, you know, forevermore because of what you bring to the table to transformation in people's lives. I've seen it time after time after time, and it's really something magical and powerful and full of that love and power. So, I love you for that.
Love you. Love you. Thank you. Anybody else want to share what's different? What's different about coming to SIA than any other course you've done, or Neogenesis, or any of our courses?
I'm sorry. I'd like to address that, Niurka, and I think everybody would agree with this. Coming from a place of love is absolutely huge, and you also elevate our vibration through yoga, meditation, healthy eating. We go, those are very long days sometimes, and everybody still has a lot of energy at the end of the day. But one of the things that I would say is, what I notice with people as they're going through the different stages of life is when people hit about 38 to 40 years old, a lot of people transition, and they really start asking bigger questions about life. My life is, half over. What have I accomplished? What's in it for me? What do I want next out of life? And they start asking a lot of the bigger questions. And unfortunately, they're probably asking a lot of the questions in a way which isn't serving themselves. It's probably fairly disempowering. And I think, and I would have to say nearly all of the people that I know that are in that position, they're searching for answers to those questions. And what they continually come up with are, maybe some good quotes, maybe some motivational speakers, maybe some people who get them excited for a day or a week or a process. But what you do is you actually have developed and you teach a process with the answers to be able to allow you to transform your life with so many tools and move it exactly in the direction of your choosing, right? And your highest self and your best self, and to move it in that direction in an ongoing process of personal growth and personal development, that it doesn't just resonate inside, it starts manifesting. I mean, it manifests your life and your growth in the direction of your life. And it's the answer that people are looking for. And I truly mean that. Jay, who was at our last Neogenesis, I got a chance to talk with him. And he said, Chris, I've been all around the world, motivational speakers. I've been to clinics. I've been to seminars. I've been to conferences. I've been to India and Asia. And he said, I've been all around the world my entire life. And after Neogenesis, I finally found a home with Niurka and her family. And I thought that was very profound and touches on the point of me saying that everything anybody's looking for at whatever stage of life that they're at, they need to come to see and experience your teachings and the compassion and the love and the openness of the people that are part of this family, to be able to help have the space to be able to transform their life in the way that it's necessary to really make progress. And you allow that, and it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So thank you for that.
Thank you. You're welcome. I love our community.
Yeah.
Katie, do you want to share a little bit about what's different from anything else that you've ever done? Because you've done a lot of things, a lot of different transformational courses, lots of different retreats. What's different about SIA? What's different about Neogenesis?
I think in other courses I'd been to, I was looking for transformation. Maybe it's going to be this course. Maybe it's going to be a week later when I come home from the course. Maybe it's going to be on the bus. I think one of the most important things that I ever learned from Niurka that really locked it in is transformation happens in an instant. And when it happens, it is so. You can't go back. And so for me, what was different was SIA was the course that I came home from and didn't just talk the talk, I walked the walk. And I didn't need to speak to the people around me about what was going on because they saw me lift. They saw me start to elevate. They saw me start to seek mastery and raise my lower standards for myself and for the people around me. I had trouble in the past being absolutely committed to, a perfect diet or getting on to my yoga mat or making sure that, I was taking care of myself in a honoring way. And now it's without thought. Wherever I am, I try to make the best choice for myself at that moment. I look around and I say, what's the best choice food-wise for me at this moment? What's the best choice for me to work out at this moment? And the difference is because transformation has already happened, you can't go back from that awareness, I create immediacy. Where in the back, it was, in the past, it was, I'm going to get to that dream, that passion, that hobby, reading that book. And now, I love all the unlimited opportunities in life, and people can see it. And people have come up to me so many times and said, "What are you studying? Where do you get this stuff? Where does this come from?" I don't I don't have to sell Niurka's teachings, because I live them, and people get attracted to it because my whole vibration has raised. Since I came back from SIA, I've booked more TV appearances. I've booked more deals. I've created more opportunities. I was just offered another job last week. I'm at the point where if I start talking to someone just casually in a grocery store, they're like, "Hey, come work for me." It's absolutely amazing how people get really attracted to how excited I am about life. And that wasn't the case when I went to SIA. I was really sad. I was really stuck in my story. I wasn't really happy with the universe and the schedule that I thought everything should work out, and my career and my family, and I wanted to bring a baby into the world, and I wanted it in my little package. And when I came home from SIA, I had a different level of trust for this universe. I couldn't go back from feeling absolutely at one with every single person at that event, every single person who had ever been to that event, every single person who will come to that event, and then just every other soul on this amazingly beautiful planet. That I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and people just they come up to me and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I might be lighting hula hoops on fire. I might be selling somebody their absolute dream home to a first-time buyer, but whatever it is, I'm committed to their goals, like they're my goals, just like Niurka taught us, and it makes every day a better day. Absolutely.
Beautiful. I mean, imagine this emanating out. That's my prayer right now, that this love and this passion and that this actualization of purpose, this self-actualization emanates out, that everybody who's watching this feels this and knows that possibility for within themselves in every area. Beautiful. Who else wants to share? What's different about this than anything else?
I'd like to add something.
Please.
One thing that I've experienced is you lead everyone through this transformation. And yet the exercises that we do them together. So not only are you learning how to do it, so you integrate the knowledge even deeper, you're creating relationships with the other people that attend. You're eating together, you're doing exercises together, and as people have breakthroughs and share them, not only are we taking your knowledge, we're interacting and gaining more from each other. So trust starts to be built, and by being able to trust, you're more open. The more people that share, the more it resonates with somebody else. You can lead somebody through an exercise, they can have a breakthrough, share what that means to them in their life, and 4 other people will have a breakthrough as a result of that sharing. So the community within itself builds while the event is going on, and in some cases, once you go home, you're still communicating with people that were there, and that the relationships you're building extend far beyond it, because you've had over a few days a very meaningful interaction that you cherish and carry with you moving forward. So it builds something much greater than just a motivational speech where you go home and go, yeah, I'm pumped for a week. You take things with you that you carry on a daily basis as you move forward. And that is remarkably more integrated than I've seen with anyone else.
That's a word that I keep in the forefront of my consciousness anytime I create a course, integration. How do we have it sink into the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the energetic body, all these different levels. So thank you, Ian. One more. Anybody else want to share what's different than anything? What's different about Neogenesis? What's different about SEA? What's different than any other course you've ever done?
But I mean, I think this has kind of been said, but I wanna offer something just to expand a little bit further. The teachings are amazing. The teacher is amazing. The opportunity to connect with others at the event is amazing. For me, it's that sense of family that I have created with the people that I have met through this community that has just significantly continued way beyond any individual day or week. It's that sense of connection, and when something explodes in my world, I can go on Facebook and there are 10 people who will immediately jump in and support me. And they're all, they're not going to, go into a mode of, oh, honey, that sucks, too bad, and get all negative. They're going to go, you've got this. We know you. We know you've got this. And it's just that positive force that builds. That I have to say, and I've done training from a lot of different directions. I'm not going to say that you never get that community elsewhere, but I've never gotten it so deeply and with so much heart in the ways that I have gotten it within this community. And I think that the opportunity to connect with fun folks like us, as well as to connect deeply with this work, is just amazing. And it's an opportunity to not just have a great time or learn something good, but potentially change the circles in which you interact and the level of conversation that you have every day with the people that you maintain contact with for weeks and months, and I can say for myself, years since I first attended my first event. So I think that counts for a lot.
It does. I remember what you said to me when you came out of Goddess Garden about that, about your sisters and being in community, remember?
I do. It's at Goddess Garden. Goddess Garden is a completely beautiful event specifically for women. And for me, I had the joy and the benefit of actually bringing my mother to that event and having an opportunity to have my mother be part of this community and see what I was involved in and be connected to the women that I was building these relationships with. But what was phenomenal was the fact that they got a chance, I really got a chance to see that I could create sisters and a sense of sisterhood all within this community, so that when something would explode in my world, I could reach out and know that my sisters were there for me. And they would immediately, support in any way they could possibly. I mean, I've received boxes of gifts because one of my sisters knew I was having struggles, and she literally just sent me a present. And this is a woman that I met for a week a year ago, or 6 months ago, and yet we have that kind of heart connection that has just completely uplifted not just me personally, but my entire community in my life. And so it's a beautiful opportunity to get to really let that evolve.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, Goddess Garden is it's not really a course, it's an experience. It's a 3-day ceremony. It's a 3-day journey for women. So if you're a woman watching, come join us. If you're a man watching, gift this to your goddess, whether it's your mother or your sister, or your beloved. It's a very powerful gift. So, what I'd love to do is, let me just go off and let you do any final thoughts. If there was one thing that you'd like to share, if there's somebody, let's say, that is thinking about coming, but they're, we're going to invite everyone to come to the one day, to come and be in our community, be in this space, immerse themselves in the teaching, immerse themselves in the power of this work. And sometimes what happens when people get those invitations, they're focused on how busy they are, or life, or their, all these things that they have to do. What would you say to someone who has that invitation, to come to this. Any final words as far as what you would communicate about? Just anything you want to say, actually. I'll leave it open for them.
Can you hear me? This is Elka.
Yes. Alka.
All right. You know what I would say? If you don't have time or you feel like you can't make time, that's when you need to make the time. That's when you need it most, and it's just really interesting. And one quick thing, it's so interesting, me as a newbie, hearing everybody speak, I keep saying, oh, yes, yes, exactly, exactly. I can't express myself that way yet. And I'm so excited to finally found a community where I can dig deeper into learning why I am so happy. I learn why and can help other people to be happy instead of just saying, just think positive, rah, rah. It's just deeper. And another thing, what I thought was really, really interesting for me, especially at the first day when people opened up more and were very vulnerable, and that is okay and that is part of a growth, because I think we're taught to, just, man up and guard and be strong. And that's how I was been for many, many years, and that it's okay to be vulnerable and from that place embrace it and grow with others. And you create that space, and it comes from love, and that's what makes it so different. Instead of going home after a seminar, rah-rah, and then you're all lost. But here it's a progression. I'm still waking up in the middle of the night from 3 weeks ago where, a light comes on. So I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. Beautiful. Loved having you. Can't wait to have you with me at SIA in a few weeks. So anybody else want to share? If somebody's, let's say they want to achieve certain things in their life, or they feel stuck in certain things, what would you say to this person as far as some final thoughts to come and join us?
I'd like Katie to add to this one, because Katie has known me for 15 plus years, and my journey started with one of your one-day events. That was my first exposure. So I would appreciate it if Katie would speak to the transformation that I've had.
Oh, interesting. Beautiful. Katie, who's known Ian for 15 years, what have you seen shift in Ian over the last 15 years? Or what have you seen different once he graduated from the courses that was different from how it was before?
There's a lot. I would say, without getting into too long of a story, that there was a period of shadow for Ian, and because I had known him so long, I had seen both times where he was in light and in shadow, so I could calibrate that. One of the things that always attracted me to Ian as a human being was his ability to lead other people and his ability to take an interest in other people. And he's been one of my greatest teachers over the course of my life, whether that be just in how to throw a decent kick, or
in martial arts, because Ian's a professional martial artist,
or really how to hold space. He's one of the best listeners I have absolutely ever met, and I am one of the worst listeners in the past that I had ever met, and I think he could speak to that. So we had a great balance, and there was a period where he was, I would say, a little bit separated from Dharma and life purpose and connection to self. And what happened with our transformation is, because I think we all have a collective transformation. I think I have a relationship with every single person that I'm in that sanctuary with. I think what happened was, when I came back from SIA and he saw the change in me, I didn't really have to do anything other than say, come check this thing out. Because he had seen a major shift, and we had a relationship strong enough where he trusted me enough to go check out what I was looking for. But Ian is a smart cookie. If I had told him all this stuff, we're going to transform your life, we're going to pop anger, fear, sadness, guilt, shame, we're going to, clear the board, erase the chalkboard, etch a sketch, he wouldn't have gone. He just picked up on it energetically, and we were just walking around the park last night. Ian had come over. He'd had dinner with my husband, and he said, hey, I was thinking about some stuff earlier. You want to take a walk? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about some stuff too. And what's amazing is that, like Elke was saying, you know, there is a language to express ourselves, and it really is a higher vibration. You know, it's speaking words that make souls stronger. You know, with a clear, balanced throat expression chakra. You know, we come from absolutely the highest place for the highest place, and you know, if I get a little bit off course and I need to check and make sure my rudder's in the right place on the water, Ian McIntyre is a fantastic person for me to call. And so I'm hoping. Uh-oh, what am I seeing? Am I missing something?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I'm like, there's a sign. I can't see.
I think
something.
Ross is sending us little love notes while we're on our.
Okay. Yes. Anyway, I can just say it's a collective transformation, because, you know, we elevate each other. So Ian's transformation has been my transformation has been Ian's transformation, and that just speaks to the oneness, the little soul.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Ian, one of the things I would say with you is absolute, you know, clarity and freedom is what I've seen. You know, I didn't know you 15 years before, but I've seen you come into that place of full freedom from things from the past, things that used to shackle you from the past, that used to take you out of your power in the past, used to just give you disempowering emotions and just, you know, wreak havoc in those ways. Those have dissolved in the presence of new learnings, new integrated understandings, and what's emerged is a clear, more grounded, more present, even more loving you, the real you, the authentic you, who you've been all along. Is just peeling off all those layers, peeling off all those baggages, if you will. It's like check your baggage at the door kind of thing. But before you do, you gather the learnings, you gather the gifts, you integrate all of those, and then the baggage at the door actually dissolves into nothingness. So.
And just to clarify for anybody out there that isn't familiar with the language, you know, things that happen in the past, some event happens, 10 years later, somebody says something that triggers that past event, you're mad at them over nothing. You know, it's somebody takes your food order in a way and says a word that an ex said to you, and all of a sudden you're in a bad mood and you don't know why. And so being able to understand these things, let them go, and have new language and communication skills and techniques to express all of this takes all of these little things that we collect in life, hold very dearly, that really can bring us harm, and we put them down, see it for what it really is, see the benefit that it may have once had, and can put down the rest of it and move forward in a much better way.
Beautiful. So here's, like, if you're listening, if you have something from the past that still challenges you in the present and takes you out of your power, then we can absolutely help you gather learnings from that and transform that. That's one of the areas specifically that happens in our courses. So any other final thoughts that you would say to someone who is being invited to come? What would you say to encourage them to join us for our Supreme Influence one day?
I would just say that, you know, you had talked about, and there is definitely a difference as before SIA and after SIA. And before I had gone, and maybe during the process, and I had heard that, and it was, you know, I don't know, something to contemplate. But after you go, there is definitely a difference as to how you communicate, how you respect yourself, how you approach things differently, your communication skills, all these different things. And I think you can maybe liken it into, if you're, you know, seeing like a beautiful landscape and you see it, you know, up close and personal, you're experiencing it yourself, as opposed to seeing a picture of it, which is nice, but it's not like being there and seeing it with your own eyes and experiencing the beauty of it itself. And you know, you just have to go and experience, and in any way that you'll receive whatever you'll need to receive, because it's all there to have, right? It's all being given, and everyone in the course receives differently what they need to receive for themselves. So may be for business, it may be for relationships, it may be for parenting, it may be for all these different things. And whatever you need to get out of it, you will. So, yeah, you have to experience it because you will get a result, the right one for you.
Mm-hmm. And there's something that happens live that I find doesn't happen anywhere else. I mean, I love this
fun. We have fun too, right? We have a lot of fun while we're there.
We have a lot of fun.
You know? Not all, yeah. We have a lot of fun, and it's a great community. So, yeah.
Let me jump in here
everyone,
too.
do we have fun? What do you think? Do we have fun?
We have a friggin' blast. We dance. We hoop. We have, we just like goof around. I laugh hysterically almost every single day. And what I wanted to say as a final note, particularly as people are considering the possibility of going to the one day, I can't think of any reason why you can't spend one day asking the question and looking at the possibility. So, okay, this opportunity is in front of you, and you have one day of your life to say, what might this hold for me? Why not invest it? Because if you have the opportunity to just invest a day, then you can decide if you're ready to invest, a week and come to SIA and really play with the rest of us. But I can't think of any reason short of, you're giving birth that day that's not worth showing up for that day. It's one day. Give yourself a gift. That's what I would say as a final thought.
Thank you. Yep, one day can change your life. So I want to honor all of you, my beautiful beloveds, my tribe, my graduates, my amazing, incredible beings. Thank you for joining us and for being here. It's such my greatest joy and my source of my deepest inspiration is each and every one of you and the transformation that I see and what I know is carrying forth from within our community all the way out to the ends of the planet. So I'm totally grateful for you. And I want to, if you're watching and you're tuning in to us hanging out, we're hanging out on our first hangout, then you are invited to join us for our one-day Supreme Influence event. And in 2015, I'm taking this event on tour all over different cities in the United States. Very excited. We're planning that out right now. We're doing one final one for 2014. So on October 11th, that's Saturday, October 11th, we have a one-day event here in Los Angeles at the Marriott in Marina del Rey, and you are invited. VIP tickets are only $97. That's it. And that gives you 2 tickets plus an awesome gift bag. So come VIP, and the gift that I have is if you want to just come for free, you can do that too. All you've got to do is buy a book. Buy a book, my latest book, Supreme Influence, and bring it. And we have general scholarship tickets available that we're doing for a super limited time for anybody that purchases the book and comes and joins us for this very powerful event. I'm looking forward to seeing you face to face. I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm looking forward to learning about who you are and what your gifts are and what your challenges have been and how I can support you in transcending anything that challenges you or limits you so that you can be fully expressed in your purpose and in your power and be living the life that you're truly meant to live. Okay, filled with joy and wealth and love and prosperity and all the things that you deserve in this life. So you're invited. This is our hangout. We're going to be hanging out more, so we'll be letting you know. And big love, lots of blessings, and namaste.